Apparently, America's judges are not the only ones showing that they're willing to stand up to President Trump and the Republican Party to protect our democracy. The American people are also making their voices heard across the country. Members of Congress who aren't afraid to host town halls are hearing directly from their constituents who have a lot to say to both Republican and Democratic lawmakers.
In terms of the work that I have specifically been doing.
But where is the coordinated effort?
None of this feels like you're fighting for us, for Colorado, for our kids, for our grandkids.
It's so bizarre to me how obsessed you are with federal government. But here's the thing.
I'm sorry, that moment there. Joining me now is political strategist Lucy Caldwell, who managed Republican Joe Walsh's 2020 presidential campaign, and MSNBC contributor Maria Teresa Kumar, president and CEO of Voto Latino. Welcome to you both. I've been looking forward to this conversation all day because there is so much ish to get into. And so I want to start with you, Maria. This moment is, I think it's good. I think it's healthy. It's a little long overdue, okay, but folks are stepping up. And the fact that you now have on the Republican side, which I'll get to in a moment, Lucy, but on the Democrat and Republican side now, voters saying, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't like the way any of this is going down. And so I'm going to let you know. What are you hearing out there from folks as you travel around the country?
Well, right off the gate, the first instinct of the Democrats was basically to say, we want to keep this as it is. And every single person that I'm talking to, and you're seeing it in town halls, is like, no. The Republicans are breaking things with sledgehammers, but the status quo was not okay either. What are your ideas? And that's where they're stuck. But, Michael, this is an incredible opportunity for us to say, OK, how do you reimagine government for the 21st century? You can't say that the Department of Education is OK when you still have individual kids coming out of COVID who can't read at third, fourth grade levels, and they're in sixth, seventh grade. Mm-hmm. And so this is an opportunity for us to imagine. But the Democrats have to say that hard part out loud, that it wasn't working perfectly before.
Right.
But then take it away and say, how are we preparing for the next step? And they're not willing to do that. And, give granted to, Senator Bernie Sanders, Uncle Bernie, he's saying the quiet part out loud. And for so long, I will tell you, when I saw the extremism on the Republican side, I always half assumed that it was going to be the Republican Party that was going to fracture. But more and more what we're seeing, and even our data is showing, in a place like Arizona, Donald Trump won some of the Latino vote, but the Democrats lost it because close to 7% of the Latinos who voted in 2020 didn't show up. Ditto in all these other places. Yeah. So what the American people are saying is like, neither party is working for us. Is there a party time to go to something in the middle? And I think that is where the parties have to coalesce, because this is not tenable.
Lucy, Maria talks about this opportunity as one where we can reimagine government in the 21st century. That assumes that there's a government there.
Yes, that we have elections.
Because
guys, come on.
Right? Because we still got to do an election in 28, yes, which may be a little suspect.
And 26.
And 26, particularly given what Steve Bannon's been saying. But this idea that citizens are actually in the game now, in a way, and I think there's going to be more. I think there's going to be greater participation because summer's coming and it'll feel like winter. I think for a lot of folks, it reminds me of the summer of 2010, but we can talk about that.
I thought that too. Get on Chairman Steele's bus, guys. Get on the bus.
Get on the bus, y'all. Get on the bus.
No. Maria's like, no.
Maria's like, we do not need to go back there. But it is interesting to listen to the leadership tell Republican members, you know what, y'all, don't bother doing town hall meetings. Representative Andy Biggs, it was this great headline, central headline on Andy Biggs. He wants to hear from you only if you're a Republican.
Yes.
And, Representative Biggs, along with Senate President Warren Peterson and Maricopa County Sheriff Jerry Sheridan, met with voters. They did, but they had a little requirement there. You could only come and be in the room if you were a Republican. What does that tell you?
Can you imagine? I mean, it tells you that they know that what they're doing is unpopular. I think some of their greatest helpers in facilitating this unpopularity have been, at times, the unfortunately even more unpopular Democratic counterparts. And to your point, as you were saying that, I was thinking about the fact that in the last 8 years, we had this attitude of, oh my gosh, it's all hands on deck. We are in a crisis of our democracy, which we still are, even more so, and were. But it was like, so we're not going to talk about policy. It's like a pause on policy. So we can't talk about those things because we have to stop this bleeding over here. And it turns out that when you do that, that's really condescending to voters and regular Americans whose lives continue to go on. And by the way, when you treat them like they're a monolith and their only job is to be part of the Democratic turnout machine, that doesn't work. But the thing that's especially disturbing about the town hall piece, I think, is that even people who are supposed Republican moderates, moderate Republicans in purple districts, I'll give you an example. Brian Fitzpatrick, shiny trophy, show horse of groups like No Labels. He is out there saying that he's not sure he's going to hold town halls in his purple district because the people who turn out for those efforts are sometimes people who have been activated by dark money groups, which who cares if they're on individuals' email list? What you are saying is that the real humans who live in your district, who live in your state and congressional district, that they don't matter, that their opinions don't matter. And you have to call that out.